I am amazing, causing great wonder. I am beautiful, pleasing the senses aesthetically.
We thank you, Lord, for the author who has gathered each and every one of us this evening. We thank you for the time we are going to spend here, everlasting God. Let it be quality time in your presence, and let everything we do be to the glory of your name. In Jesus' mighty and precious name we have prayed. Amen.
My name is Stella Nodi. You can call me the Grammar Queen. Okay. I was pleasantly surprised when Omotola told me I was going to take the opening remark. I just wanted to silently come here and observe and go. And by the way, just so you know, I edited the book. Okay, so I edited the book, so I thought that was just all I was going to do. So my remark is that I met Omotola the first time when she was working in WFF, yeah? One morning I just finished a radio show with some other person, and I came downstairs and we're outside just gisting, and I came away from the conversation with her. I thought she was, as she is, a very real person. There are no airs around her. You get, and then that was the only time. And then again, I met her on ALS WhatsApp group. So when Omotola told me about her poem, I'm like, what am I even going to do in this? She just told me, okay, as a grammar queen, just look at grammar, punctuations, arrangements and all that. And I really, really, really had fun. I had a good time editing that book. And then a lot of her poetic pieces touched me personally because I could relate to a lot of them. Especially the areas where she talked about womanhood, femininity, and then she went on and on and on about how she's a Yoruba girl. By the time I finished the book, I was wishing I was a Yoruba girl. Then I now remember that I am a proud Owerri girl. Thank you very much. So her book, yeah, you need to buy it. Thank you.
My name is Buchi Onyekule. I just stopped being the host of the Morning Mojo for WFM 106.3. I also curate AFI The Spill Sessions, and I'm also the founding director of the Abuja Literary and Arts Festival. Unchained is Omotola's debut work, and this is an attempt to create poetry that is attractive to a more diverse cross-section of literature lovers and non-literature lovers. The book starts off expectant as to what the verses are about, and it does not disappoint. Unchained takes you through a myriad of emotions, each one very digested before the next takes you on another journey. This book will make you feel things for people you do not know, or who have never even existed except in your mind of yours. The book, amongst other things, tackles the Nigerian situation as it presently is, and takes a very searching look at the response of the populace to the issues. The themes in the book are varied, with culture, identity, family, love, hope, despair, loss, even the more serious things, but she also talks about online and shoe shopping, as well as her relationship with her gadgets, turning even the mundanities of everyday life into poetry. In summary, Unchained is Omotola.
Each time I have a microphone, I'm always tempted to say praise the Lord. Because I'm a church girl. I'm going to read two of my pieces. I curated 4 of them to play back for you to listen to, but we couldn't do that. So I'm going to read 2 of my pieces, and then we'll have a discussion about citizenship rights, indigene, settler dichotomy. I'll tell you what that means, all the grammar. I will explain it later on. So I'm reading Split Cultural Disorder. How come you speak Hausa so well? I'm asked over and over again. Niba how sheche. Because I'm Hausa, I would reply. I then get the look that says, though I speak the language, I don't look the part. My head is uncovered and I wear short skirts, so I can't be Hausa. I'm just the Berebia, the Yoruba girl who happens to speak Hausa. But I arrived in Kaduna on my head, not on my feet. I'm a freeborn. I feel Hausa, speak the language impeccably, and the food agrees with me. I'll choose Tuwo alongside Eba any day. Miyan kubewa will satisfy me just as a wedu, and kunu in any form will quench my thirst. I'm a daughter of this soil, with an attachment, sense of belonging like any native. The Nigerian Constitution insists I'm not, stripping me of all entitlements. Kaduna is all I know, but the law says I won't be getting any favors. I'm only allowed claim to Ogun, my father's state of origin, with which I have no chemistry. I'm very proud of my Yoruba name though. My Hausa skin is too tough, won't be shed. No bleaching cream can do the magic. I'm proud of my Yoruba name, Omotola, a child as well. And delirious about my Hausa name, Altini, a female born on Monday. I'm protective of the Hausa language, as it's the only one I speak untainted. I'm also awed by the rhythm of the Yoruba language. I'm comfortable in both skins, so I put a gun to my head. Forcing me to choose between a southern state I barely know over a northern state I'm acquainted with is very unfair. Why can't my birthplace and place of origin play the same melody? Why can't I be Hausa and Yoruba? I have legitimate claims to both cultures, but the law is in denial, dragging me down its hypocritical alley. The piece I'm about to read now is titled, Who Slaughtered Peace in Kaduna? For me, this is a very emotional piece, and it's my first ever poem. I wrote it in 2010. It took me 5 years to write another poem after this one. Looking over the balcony of my sculpted storied building, I sit content, taking in the balmy, breezy air, soaking in the scenery of this famed destination, the camaraderie on the ancient streets, the smiles, the banter, ina kwana, ina gajiya, barka da zuwa. I'm proud of the city's diversity, the clasping of hands, the curtsies, the fashion, the blend of cultures, of people, of destinies. In the heart of the savannah, this is Kada City, Kaduna, my home. We remained a people until gunshots rang across the city. Bombs made holes in the ground. Folks lay dead on street corners. Too many casualties to account for. In panic, I ran to the rainforest. 10 years later, I returned to see what is left of my home, Wayo, Kaduna. Things are no longer the same. The central market lost its sparkle. The people are no longer at ease. The Hydra-headed monster has visited us. Who opened the gates of Kada City to hackers of limbs, lives, destinies? There are now bombs on the streets, on campuses, on military barracks. Is this my home? Where is the safety we once knew? Who slaughtered peace as a burnt offering to fear, hatred, bigotry? Was Lord Lugard ever here? Were Sardauna and Balewa ever the prince's inspiration of this city? Isn't this the cradle of Nigeria's tele-military education? Where is the Kaduna Mafia? Someone answer my questions. I want the bombs to stop. I want the hatred to cease. I want us to become a people again. For this Kaduna is a stranger to me. I want the old Kaduna back. I want the safety we once enjoyed. I want it back now. Thank you. And to join me tonight, first I'll call Mr. Dapolo Yomi, whom we all call Uncle D. He's the publisher of Premium Times. Next, I'll call Mr. Kunle Adewale. Mr. Kunle Adewale is a veteran journalist of more than 3 decades. But now he has left the nest for greener pastures. And the next I'll call Fatima Mukhtar. wishes like she can disappear, but she's not disappearing. And then finally, I'll call my beloved neighbor and friend, Dr. Chidon Numa, my big brother, who I call the Prof. Once again, good evening, everybody. I'm sure if I tell you I'm an IDP, you will laugh at me, right? Like, am I serious? Yeah, but I'm an IDP. I'm a psychological IDP, and I'll explain to you. I grew up in Kaduna, and Kaduna is the only place where I can live and be okay and be happy. But I can't live in Kaduna. I tried to live there 3 years ago, but I was told that the part of Kaduna I want to live in, I cannot live there because it's no longer safe for me to live there because I'm Southern and I'm Christian. So you see why I'm an IDP? So that's what we're talking about, because I'm not the only one. Uncle T was born in Sokoto, right? Uncle T was born in Kano as well. So we want to talk about this experience, because nobody talks about us, because we have nice jobs, we dress well, we look well, we don't look like IDP, so it doesn't look like we matter. But this book actually came as a result of the despair from being in that state, that mental state where you are everywhere, but you're not where you really want to be. It's a horrible thing. You may not understand it, but it's not a nice feeling. And that's who some of us are. I know Buddhist. Are you an IDP or Buddhist? Psychological. So let's talk about this thing about living in a certain part of the country. You don't have a choice. You were born there. It's not like you moved there by yourself. And then when you came back to the South, how were you able to integrate? What are the challenges you went through?
Quite frankly, I think the point that you're raising anyway is how do you live in a country that wants to be one, but it's also fractured, not on the basis of mere geography, but really in terms of, elite betrayal, young people who can certainly not build a dream, people who have also invested a life, but have to come with regrets at a very important part of their life. So, this is just the reality of a country that I think Tola is speaking to. So the question then that you ask me, not deflecting from what you're saying, is that I feel it from a distance, but I understand the reality, I guess, intellectually, rather than personally.
So you were raised in Lagos, and you're from Borno State, you're Kanuri. So when you had to come back to Borno, did you feel any cultural shock? Are there things you had to cope with? Do you feel comfortable living in the north?
For me, I was born in Lagos and Kanuri, and then I had to return to Borno for my degree. And then when I went there, it was so shocking because I didn't understand the Kanuri language, and then I felt like an alien, because we're like, Afunu to them means Hausa, even if I'm Hausa, but because I didn't even understand Kanuri, so like a taboo. Although very, very friendly and accommodating people, but at some point I feel like I'm segregated. Because I also used to that kind of Yoruba life, very outspoken. If you don't do things right, like Kiroshi and all of those kind of things, and so I'm just so used to that kind of very that kind of nature.
Freedom, the kind of cultural freedom.
Yeah, the kind of cultural freedom I experienced in the South. They are very outspoken kind of people, and then just say just the way it is. But here down in the North, very conservative people, very friendly as well. But just have to. We're not allowed to be too.
Is it especially because of the woman?
I think yes, but that is not an excuse because I'm a woman and because I'm covered does not mean my brain is covered. So even if I was there in Maiduguri, I met some very amazing people who were doing excellently well despite the insurgency, and these are people that you will see very early in the morning go to the market and do their activities as if nothing has happened. So I think at that point I begin to adore and admire their resilience, even though no one really cares about them. But I think it's something, even though they might have their own, I don't know, maybe lapses, but I think for being resilient, I think I adore them. But I still have this, I still feel their sense of isolation in me.
Dr. Chido, you were born in Lagos before. You grew up in Lagos. You're married to a Yoruba woman. The kids have Yoruba names. And then you have some people who tell you you're not a true man. How does that make you feel?
Thank you. It's great that we're having this conversation, and this is something I've talked about and written about in the last 2-3 decades. I mean, I grew up among Hausa kids, Yoruba kids, and I've written about it, Igbo kids. What bound us together was our humanity. The football we played, that was the most interesting thing for us. We would eat during Christmas, Easter, walk to the next house and eat. We do the same for the Muslim festival. So partly because of my own upbringing and partly because of my early readings, I saw myself as an internationalist. For me, the whole idea of tribe and my mom, God bless her soul, you know, she would say something at the dinner table or conversation and say, the last thing I'll do if any of you get married is to come to your house without you inviting me. So simply telling us that I don't care. We grew up in a family, father, mother, my dad is still alive, 86 years. In August, nobody cared. So my immediate younger brother married to a Calabar lady, the one after married to a lady from Benue State. My 3 sisters are married to men from different, one is Osun, one is Bayelsa, and one is Edo. It's only our last brother who's married to a lady from Abia State. So growing up, those things, nobody would ask you. So it was easy for me, fell in love with the Yoruba lady, and my kids they have Igbo names, they have Yoruba names, but at home, well, we proclaim Chiwezu's Anatomy of Female Power. Their first names, they have Igbo first names, Yoruba first names.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Nwale, how did we get to this point where ethnicity and religion became more important than being human?
Let me answer your question this way. I think only one thing changed the way we saw ourselves as the people, as a nation. And it's just one word: politics. And my question really is, why do we allow these small, they are just a tiny group of people, to play us one against another and cause so much harm to ourselves?
Uncle D, as we round up, I would like to ask you, yours was a generation of innocence. You went to Islamic school, but you were Christian. I went to Islamic school, and I'm Christian. So it gives you an understanding a bit of the culture, the religion of people you have. But we're having kids being raised in mono-ethnic groups, mono-religions, that all they know is one thing. And in this case, the one thing is not even Hausa or Yoruba language or Igbo language. There's no English, and not even the good English. So you're raising kids on a shaky language, on what's it called, a myopic phrase, you know, religion and all of that. How dangerous is that?
Oh, actually, of course, it's very, very dangerous. Just to answer pointedly, the age of innocence that we speak about, it's got to get to a point. If you are building a society without opportunities, that politics will take over all the rational processes. What we have to fear about the future for our children is, are we going to ever be able to build a society that will be defined in terms of opportunity for all, justice, and certainly will there be leadership that can really lay the basis and template for a big dream that will capture the imagination of people and hope that they can build a better society.
As a millennial, when you look at Nigeria 20, 30, 40 years, do you have any hope?
As a millennial, in my own opinion, and as a millennial, we should begin to see the common ground. Whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, Hausa or Yoruba, we should focus on the common issues and see how we can solve them.
The issue of being an indigene of a place, why does it have to be through family relationships and not through birth in Nigeria? Is there a way we can have, like we have in the United States, where wherever you're born is where you're from?
Thank you. It's possible, but as a citizen of this country, the Constitution should guarantee you the right to live and work anywhere you want to live and work. Pay your taxes there, do whatever you want to do. So that's essentially is the next phase of our discussion, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle that we really have to embark on. It's not something you just talk about. People need to make serious effort to struggle to achieve this kind of ideals.
Is it realistic?
It is. Other countries have done it, so there's nothing special about us. The problem with Nigeria is that we haven't fought for the ideals we want. Let's hit the streets and fight for the ideals we want to achieve as a country.
Is there any way people can be better socialized for them to be true Nigerians in the sense of having a sense of belonging to the country, not just the ethnic group?
Yes, there is. From my experience as a parent, I know that children come to us as blank sheets of paper. What they become is what we write on those sheets of paper. They learn from us consciously and unconsciously. They learn from us when we speak to them and the things we do without knowing they are watching. So the challenge to us as parents is to ensure that the very things we want these children to imbibe, we must live. We must show good example. We really must show good example. The change starts with me. What do I do in my private place? What do I say to my children? How do I correct the wrong things, the idiosyncrasies that people pour into them when they go outside? Maybe from school or they go into a playgroup or whatever. Actually, nation building starts from that smallest unit of society, which is the family. And every parent, every Nigerian parent has a task. And that task is to build a child who will be a proud Nigerian wherever he or she goes.
Thank you very much. As I round up, I would like to read this this poem from my book. It's called Ibadan Street.
When people ask where I grew up, I'm quick to say Kaduna, Northwest Nigeria. Looking back, I didn't really grow up in Kaduna. Was raised on Ibadan Street, oblivious to the rest of the town. Ibadan Street was flanked by Abeokuta Street, Akmadu Bello Way, a sheer stretch of socialization with more than 10 appendages, each littered with picturesque slices of people, places, and events. Ibadan Street was a melting point of cultures, religions, interests, schooled first-time visitors on the beauty of Nigeria's diversity. Ibadan Street helped mold me, shape me into who I've morphed into, a Nigerian-born global citizen, eager for a mark in the world.
Thank you very much. When you really look at it critically, you look at there are just two ethnic groups, good or bad people. You're either one or the other. That's a fact. Basically what I'm saying is we just need to be good people. We need to be people of integrity. Whether you're Igbo or Yoruba, whether you're Muslim or Christian, just be a good person. That's what really matters. Thank you so much for your time.
We talk about not pushing ethnicity.
I was very curious as to why they didn't also take a share of the blame. You would very often see the tribe, the ethnicity in news reports that we get. So we can blame people all we want, but we cannot take away the responsibility of the media. The media also
contributes to this situation. Well, the media is mining the ethnic divisions that we have, our national fortnight. So I'm hoping that this news veterans could at least attempt to address this and maybe get a commitment.
Yeah, when the media become politicized by politics from different ethnic groups, it begins to reflect in the reportage. Somebody gets paid to do a story from a particular politician for a particular group. So it all boils down to politics and how we as citizens and as members of the Fourth Estate, people like Okudi and the rest of us, can push back and push back and push for, you know, narratives that help build us and not divide us.
Really, I am very impressed that my friend has taken this step. And from what I've heard so far, I know that basically change begins with every individual. For instance, I'm Yoruba, married to an Akwa Ibom man. And by the time we were getting married, my parents never saw where he was coming from. They only saw him as a friend. So I had a very grounded foundation. And I aligned myself with Mr. Tunde, I think, that it's important that we start from the home. What do you tell your children? How do you view all the tribes? How do you view all the religions? Do you emphasize differences rather than unity? And when we are able to achieve that from the basic, from the foundation, from that unit, I think we are working, how will I put it, in the right step to getting the right society that we want.
Thank you everybody for listening. And it's time for the book launch.
Begin the launch on behalf of Gbenga Aruleba by saying that by delivering the message he sent to me, he said to pick 4 copies and give you some 20,000 naira. That's on his behalf. On my buffoon, I like to pick 2 copies and give out 10,000 naira. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Rita Ewujo. I am the station manager for Hot 98.3 FM Abuja. Poetry is the most artistic way to put feelings, happenings, emotions into writing, and in such a short, precise, and straight to the point way that you have to be, I think, lettered to a certain level to appreciate poetry, and that's what poetry is to me. It is something that you just connect with if you know it. We'll probably find more people writing books because we have done, journalism for so long. Poetry comes with, there's a love for it. You need to have the affinity for poetry and the discipline for it as well. It's not an all-comers game. That's just the truth. Poetry is not an you have to have that discipline and love and flair for it to be able to do it and do it this good, if I must say. But when it comes to writing, to a large extent, if you can talk and you're disciplined, you can write.
It's just like you have some writers that a lot of persons say interpreting their books are difficult. Somebody like Wole Soyinka, compare him to somebody like Chinua Achebe. It depends. Some person will tell you, I love Soyinka, I read and understand, despite the perceived difficulty of the language. And there are those who will tell you, I like the very simple style of Chinua Achebe. So the choice or distinction between whether it is poetry, whether it's prose, which one is better, it depends on the individual. But I think what is very important or key is the language.
Poetry lover. Yes, I'm a poetry lover, yes. I have a Facebook site, not for me, but every morning is there the most beautiful Dutch. I'm from Holland. I'm lived before the corona. There is a site with the most beautiful poems every day. And maybe next time die from her too.
After listening to the review of the book, I discovered that the poems contained in the book are relevant to our everyday life in Nigeria. They talk about ethnicity, religion, and all the major issues that affect this country today. Take for instance the issue of religion. ethnicity, for instance, and state of origin. I got married in Lagos. Gave it to my kids, all of them in Lagos. And they cannot claim Lagos State. They are from Edo because I am from Edo. And they have not, my children have not slept in Edo for less than about 40 days since she was born, and she's 18 now. Yet, she is from Edo. I think we should end this. I discovered that, what is the cause of this ethnicity thing? Our politicians, when they want to share resources, they bring in factors to exclude certain people so that they will have all. But ordinarily, religion should be a personal thing to you. If you choose to worship God through Jesus or through Muhammad, that is a personal decision.
It feels very good because I've had this for about 5 years, and you're wondering, is it worth publishing? Should I publish it? Do I have the money to publish it? And then just like that, you just realize that, I have the money, so I have to publish. And I said, okay, I want to publish. I'm like, you have to have an event. Okay. So I had the event, and it was just exactly what I wanted. Not too many people, but quality people of depth who will understand and appreciate what the book is about. And that for me is very rewarding. I've been very blessed tonight by the quality of people that I've seen here. There are no governors here, there are no presidents here. I don't need them. The people here are the people I wanted at my event, and I'm really very glad that they showed up. What I do is conversational poetry. And that stems from the fact that most of my life I'd worked in broadcasting, where you keep the message straightforward and short. So that kind of translated into my poetry. You don't read my poem and you're confused about what I'm saying. It's already out there. There's no confusion. So for me, poetry, I don't want to write a poem, a book that people will put on their shelves, like a monument. No, I want you to read it. I want you to read through the lines, to see yourself in the words, to be able to relate to what I'm saying, to scream, to shout when you read it. So I make my poetry very approachable and understandable. So for everyone who reads, I hope you find something worth your while. I hope. What's your next project? My next body of work is on love, life, and all of that. Things people don't expect that I will write about. I already have my next book in line. Already is about love. A subject that a lot of people think I don't know how to love. They will see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am amazing, causing great wonder. I am beautiful, pleasing the senses aesthetically.